Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Isn't it annoying when you hear a great song on the radio in Liberty City, but the idiot DJ doesn't tell you who it is?
Who was that?
Find out the artist and name of any song on the radio using Zit, the remarkable new service. Call us,
And we'll tell you what you're listening to based on a complicated listening system that also helps the government spy on you. Go.
just dial Zit 555-0100
948-555-0100
and follow the instructions from our needy, washed-up celebrity. So simple, even a spotty teenager could do it. Zit, because we'll spot the record for you.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. This is episode 482, and I, of course, am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me, it's Matt. And I gotta tell you, I'm pumped for the show today, because with me, as always, it's the Light Bear, the Light Bringer, the Light Bear, bringing the Beast Master, the Third Shift. It's Eric, and he's here to tell us how his week is. Hey, Eric, I'm gonna ruin the format of the show immediately right now and say, hey, when are we doing our Game of the Year special? Because normally it would be next week, but that's literally like the Christmas episode.
Yep.
So we'd have to do that like early or up and down or left and right.
And I don't want to do it. The Christmas episode is supposed to be a freebie, folks. It's supposed to be a howdy do, Merry Christmas. You know the deal. Come on. You know the deal, everybody. It's going to have to be kind of just chunked off a little bit.
So that'll be the December 31st or January 1st episode will be Game of the Year.
Yes. And then the following episode will be the New Year.
Then it'll be the best one.
No, okay. the worst one.
The best one. Now also, double question, double combo breaker. Are we doing the same rules, top 5 and 2 honorable mentions, and then anything else in the shifter multi-topic?
Yeah, sure. That works. I'm down with that.
So if you all out there want to participate, you know the deadline, and you got to follow the rules. No rule breaking, because we have never had ties. We've never had more than a top 5 and 2 honorable mentions. It's never happened. Neither one of us have done it. Nope. We're both good boys.
Follow the rules. It's what you do. That's how it goes. You always follow them rules. Nobody breaks them.
And so, continuing to follow the rules of the show, Eric, tell us how your week has been. What's been going on, brother?
It's been a weird week because, of course, in our notes, we have the reveals and such from the Game Awards and just thoughts. And I go, Game Awards happened like 2-3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I go, what? Is this old? Do I need to erase this? And we got to figure out what we're talking about this week? So I had to go back and look at the dates of the Game Awards. I had to go back and go, what was the Game Awards date? Oh, it was last week. What is happening? What is going on in this world that seems like it was 100 years ago already? Because I'll tell you this, I ain't got a job, so I mean, it ain't like I'm busy. It ain't like I've been doing stuff, but it ain't like I've been working every day, but it feels like that was forever ago. So it got me really confused.
That's what it is. That's what I was going to jump in. I went, should I jump in or should I not? It's because you don't have 8.5 hours of, no, for you, 11 hours, 10.5 hours of pure nightmare, just compressing your whole life. Now you get to like live life like a human. So before you had like 2 hours of free time. Now you have 24 hours of free time. So it feels like 6 weeks have gone by because relatively speaking,
it has.
1 day is 6 days. Yeah.
Because every day is like 4 or 5 days. So it's like, oh my God. This is what are we talking about? This was a year ago. I'm done with this. I don't want to talk about this no more. So ancient. Now, on the downside of this, folks, is I haven't listened to a podcast since I've been let go from my job. So, like, I am completely out of the loop with every podcast I've ever listened to. What's going on? I don't know all the in-depth deets anymore. I will go to like Push Square and I'll go to like IGN and whatnot once every day or two and just kind of see the highlights and see the reels. And that's about it. So it's so strange right now that I've been just so honed in on, of course, job hunting for a couple hours, looking at, prospects, and then checking out the highlights, and then going and doing chores, doing errands, doing this, cleaning the house, because I feel like I can't play a game until I usually am supposed to play games, which is at 8 to 10 at night. So I haven't played a single video game in the daytime, period, since I've been let go. So this completely ruined my chances of finishing any of the games, including Yakuza, which, guess what? That's one of the games I've been playing this week. I've been playing Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii, and there's no way, Like a Dragon, you know what I'm talking about. There's no way I'm going to finish it. I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to finish it, let alone Chronos, let alone 100 Line, let alone Ivalice, let alone, there's like, I don't know how many of them that I've gone and played hours into, but don't have them done. All thinking when I was let go, I was like, well, at least we'll be able to do that. But because my brain and body will not allow me to spend daytime hours playing video games, I have just kept the video game regime going. I only play at night. That's it. That's the only time I can play a game. So I've been doing that, and I've been continuing to do that this week. But therefore, I just wanted to mention that, just so you all understand when the end of the year comes and you go, dang, Eric's had like a month and a half. He could have probably busted out 20 games. Nope. My body and brain wouldn't allow it. They just wouldn't. However, they've allowed me to just stare at walls for like 3 hours straight. So why am I allowed to stare at a wall and do nothing for 3 hours, but I can't play a video game? You tell me. You tell me. Why am I broken like this? It doesn't make sense. So with all that said, yes, this week has been much the same. Job hunting, doing all sorts of, prelim bull crap and applications and this and that. And then, of course, staring at walls for like 3 hours straight, wondering what life is about, cleaning the house, playing Like a Dragon Pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii, which has been fantastic. However, I thought I was on a really good roll, and I thought my little crew was up to snuff. I finally got in the late game where they give you a whole bunch of new peeps that can actually all like S rank out. And so I went, well, I got to level them up. However, it came so late that I'm already at one of the last baddie of the pirate clan, but he beat the hell out of me because none of those characters, they're all basic levels. And I went, so now I got to go back to the Coliseum and go level all those up, then level the characters up, of course, within doing so. Beat all that, get back to the pirate, Goro pirate dude, beat him, and then I can finally continue on with the main story, which is to find the treasure of Esperanza or whatever the hell it's called, and finish the game. But to do that, like I said, I got to get all these characters S rank, and then I went to the pirate thing, but now I'm to the point where it's all the 4 stars. And I only got 4 stars and after left, and I think I finished the 4 stars in like 2 of the 3 or 4 categories, and all of them are not leveled up yet, and the battles are actually difficult, and I do a few, and it's fun, but when you're just doing that, after about an hour and a half, I'm like, I'm bored, and I'm done with this. So I'm at a weird spot where I can't finish because I get bored after an hour and a half of just doing pirate combat crap. But I'm at a point in the story where I think I'm pretty close to the end. I've got everybody on the line to go back and find this treasure and finish the job. So I'm like, I'm getting nervous about engaging in that last story bit because I do want to make sure I've platinumed out my pirates, and I've got the Goro Cat and Maul beat and everything else done. And then I still got to go back to Atlantis and do the last round of the police stuff because they sent me one. Hey, you've been doing great. There's one last round for you to go find for us. Why don't you go do that? And I'm like, of course you did. Of course you did that. So I have to go to do that too. Just busy. Busy. I'm having a ton of fun with it, but I knew it was going to happen. I think I said it in the last episode. I think it's going to take just enough time to where I'm going to finish it for before the new year. I'll make sure I do at least that, but it screwed me on the other games. I knew I should have just went and did Chronos and 100 line because I'm at the end of both of those, towards the end anyway, and then went back to Like a Pirate, Like a Dragon, but my heart just wasn't in it. My heart wanted to play Like a Dragon, so I did it. So that's what I've been doing. And then besides that, just a touch of Battlefield 6. My brother-in-law and my sister, they're doing this huge renovation on their house, and everything's been going kind of sideways for them. They've got pipes bursting, they're trying to fix this, holes in the wall, this. It's a nightmare. So they kind of just went AFK and disappeared into the winds, except for like 1.5-ish nights this last week. So that kind of just fell off of a cliff. But I did play it at least 1.5 nights this week. Had a lot of fun when we did. On one of the nights, the other night, we were just getting completely tossed, like 3 rounds straight. So everybody got frustrated and just gave up for the night. But I kind of miss it. I got used to playing that like almost every night. It was kind of like a ritual for a bit there. And then it disappeared, and the anime scene's completely dead right now, basically, because it's just waiting on the next season. So there's like nothing to watch, and then there's no Battlefield, and I'm like, oh man, and I don't want to do more pirate crap. I don't know what to do. I could have played 100 Line of Chronos, but just ain't in it. And that's been the week. Matt, what about you?
It's been a weird week for me also, just kind of getting back on the horse of doing things and feeling a little bit more normal. I had a show that was on the docket last week, like on Friday, but I was, 2 days out of the hospital, so it felt kind of weird to go do something. But we did go and see a show. What week is this? I am all turned around now.
I told you, it's crazy.
I got to look at the calendar now. Okay, so yeah, it was the 5th I had a show. Yeah, that was okay. All right, it's because we skipped a week. That's why I'm like doubly screwed up.
Mhm.
Okay, so there was a show like right after I got out of the hospital. Skipped that one just because it felt weird. But this past weekend, Mom and I went to the Wharton Center, saw The Wiz, which is that different version of The Wizard of Oz, basically.
Well, it's like an African American interpretation of The Wizard of Oz. I don't know, like soul, Southern hips.
Different songs, different dances, a different vibe. And that was really cool. Really awesome singers, really awesome dancing too. So it was just a lot of fun. A different spin on things, and obviously completely different songs, which was a lot of fun. And I felt good the whole time. So that was good. On the video game front, I beat Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I'm glad you had to say the title first so I could remember in my head and not stall and stammer and stutter, because I did the exact same thing. When you said Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii, I had to take a beat and I went, what is the actual name?
Oh, no.
So yes, I beat that game. I just kind of smashed through the end. There was a bunch of like the Madlantis stuff. I could have done a lot more of that, but I was just, I don't know. I was feeling it up until a point, and then it was like, hey, go back to Hawaii and talk to a person, and I did. And they went, okay, go back to Madlantis and talk to a person, and I did. And they said, well, go back to Nelly Island and talk to a person, and I did. And they did that like 4 more times, and I went, okay, I'm getting tired of the routine. I still love this game, and I'm not mad at it, but I'm like, I'm ready for it to be over. And then luckily it was over shortly after that.
Yeah, and I just did all that. I just did the go here, talk to them, go here, talk to them, go back, talk to them, go. And now I'm at that point where I think I'm going to be there. So yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're there. Good. But yeah, I finally busted through and beat it, and just kind of like Eric said, like I've said before, fun time. It's a really good game. I was in a funk on the end note of it, but when I think back on it, man, it was a lot of fun. It ticked all those Yakuza boxes. It put me, especially like right after I got back home, I was just eating up every side activity, doing everything. It just felt good. So a good one to just ching. Now it's in the completed pile. And I did that at like 7:30 on a Friday night. And I went, okay, what's next? And there was nothing on the tip of my tongue on the docket. I went, I don't really have any PS5 games I want to play. Like, I could play some Ghost of Yote, but that's my stream game when I get back into doing the stream thing. I could play, I don't know, like, I went through my little pile over here. Like, I could play Astrobot. I could play Star Wars Outlaws. I could finally start doing more of that stuff. I went, okay, nothing's kicking. Looked at my Switch. What's on the Switch that I got to do? A couple days later, I remembered Deltarune, which I probably would have started, but I didn't start that because I couldn't think of anything. And then I said, okay, dummy. How about you take the dust cover off your Xbox and play some Xbox games? Because there's 3 games on the Game Pass that you got to start playing at some point. One is Expedition 33. One is Blueprints. One is South of Midnight. Play one of those. And I said, okay, self, that sounds great. And I blew the dust off my Xbox controller, and I powered up the Xbox, and I went to my games list, and I said, I think it's Expedition 33. We're going to do it. And I pushed start, and it said, this app needs an update. And I said, okay. And it says, that'll be 1 hour and 30 minutes. And I said, okay. Blueprints, it's time for you. And I pushed that button, and it said, this app needs an update. And it says, it's behind Clear Obscure now, and it's probably going to be 1 hour anyway. And I said, okay, South of Midnight, it's your turn, baby. Come on, here we go. And I pushed that button, and it said, this app needs an update. And I said, my life. What am I supposed to do here? So I looked in my library, and I saw all the games from Rare Replay and like Gears of War Ultimate Reloaded Edition or whatever that I played a while ago. And I went, none of you. And I found a bunch of games that are off Game Pass that I don't have access to. And I went, what am I supposed to do here? Then I found the game that was downloaded that's available on Game Pass called Mullet Mad Jack. And I spelled it wrong here. I said Millet Mad Jack. That's not a grain man. He's got a man with a mullet. And that's that game where you're running and you got 10 seconds of life. And every time you kill one of these weird-ass robots, you get 1 to 2 seconds back. If you do stylish kills, you get more seconds. And you're just running and shooting. It's totally boomer shooter style, stylish and fun and wacky and crazy. And I started playing that. And I played that all night long. and I played it all morning long the very next day. Well, not the next day, but the next day that I had game time. And I beat it. And it was fun. It was hilarious. I will say I turned it down, I think, 1 difficulty degree. There's like 8 difficulty settings. There's the default, which is like right in the middle. I dropped it down 1 because it said, focus on the flow and not so much a roguelike experience. And I went, cool. And I still died a bunch and lost progress, but it was just a ton of fun. Once I got really good upgrades, you can get permanent upgrades after each run. I got a bunch of those, and it was wild. It was fun. It was frenetic. It was something completely different that I haven't played in a while. And it just hit the spot. And I went, sweet. And I beat it. And it said, hey, you can do runs on harder or easier difficulties now to get more cosmetics and things. And I started one run and I made it through one room and I went, no, now you've had your fun with this. It's time. So I closed it. I deleted it. I had a great time with it. It gave me like 90,000 achievements as I ran through like every single level. And I went, okay, there's 3 games now. Which game's it going to be? And I said, oh, I don't know now. Oh, gee, I don't know. How long is it to beat Expedition 33? Many, many hours. How long is it to beat Blueprints? Not quite so many hours. How many hours is it to beat South of Midnight? Less hours than that. And I said, okay, South of Midnight, we're going for it. And I played that game over this week, and I beat that too. And I will say, I really enjoyed that game. It's a good game. I really, really enjoyed it until about halfway through, and then it became kind of the Pirate Yakuza thing. I got tired of the routine of it. It was still cool, like the solutions you're solving, like the generational pain and bad things that happened in the past, still really compelling. The one issue I had, though, is there's a button you press, and it gives you, it's a white line, but it gives you the golden line. So what do you do anytime you come to a fork in the road and you press the golden line button and it says go right? Eric knows you go left. So I did that all the time in this game. And one of the gimmicks of South of Midnight is you're seeing things that happened in the past. Like, oh, you see this story, and it kind of goes from A down to D, A, B, C, D, 4 events. And it starts off not so bad, and then you find like the culmination of the really bad thing that happened that caused all this trauma and heartbreak and whatever. But by not following the golden path, I would always find the capstone first. Then I'd go find another one, and she'd go, huh, I wonder what happens after this. I already know what happened after this. I literally just saw, I ruined it for myself. But that's how you play games. That's how things go. That's how it's supposed to be. But anyway, it was still a lot of fun. I just got kind of tired of it by the end, but it was time to end it, so it was fine. So, beat Pirate Yakuza, beat Mullet Mad Jack, beat South of Midnight. I don't know what to play next, but it's time to do the show, so we're doing the show. I don't have to worry about it tonight. So, Eric, tell us about something else that's going on in the video game world.
All right. Well, you know what? This week, boys and girls, it's a pretty simple one for me and for you guys, but I had to make sure I mention it. You've got Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition releasing yet again. Because, of course, yes, this released like years ago, I think in 2018. Larian Studios, of course, made this title, and it got like a 9.6 on IGN, and it got high-end marks everywhere else as well. And the reason I want this to be released is because of the Game Awards. All right, Divinity 2 was a game I originally wanted to play back in 2017 when it hit, but I went, oh, that's scary, and it looks too hard, it looks too in-depth, and so I just put it off. Then, of course, Larian did Baldur's Gate, and then I popped into that, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it, but it got to be too big and too scary, and too much was happening. I got the paralysis going on, so I bailed. But then I realized that maybe one of these years I can do this. And then, of course, the Game Awards hit, everybody, and they revealed Divinity 3, and it looked insane. Absolutely, utterly insane. And I went, I want to be a part of this goddamn world. I want to be a part of this. This RPG is so in-depth and so creative. It allows you, the player, to do all the things you want to do, and the story adapts to what you're doing and allows you to do almost anything that you want to do. And that's just bonkers. And of course, the definitive edition of Divinity, Original Sin 2, added all sorts of fixes, that weren't liked so much in the original Divinity, Original Sin 2. And then, of course, it added the playability on the consoles, which was back then the PS4, PS4 Pro, and Xbox, whatever it was, etc. Well, now they've released it for the PS5 and the newest Xbox and the Nintendo Switch 2. So they've yet again made sure that the controls are going to work for the newest set of gaming systems, which also tells you that whilst this game's a little older, it's going to run as prime and as beautifully as it possibly could now. And it was a gorgeous game then, and I'll bet it still stands the test of time to this date because let's face it, folks, graphics haven't been like super crazy improved since 2017 in that time area. I think pretty much since then, everything's been pretty damn good and you know playable. And this is no exception. Everybody already knows. I don't even got to tell you. Larian Studios at this point in time makes incredible RPGs and allows you to do anything you want to do in this title, in this game. And this is no exception. So I just got real excited about it because it's another chance for me to hop in on my beautiful PS5 Pro, best top of the line everything. Controls, just chef's kiss for consoles, which is what I always wanted. I never wanted to play it on the PC in the first place. And on top of it all, it's going to get you prepped and hyped so you understand what the hell's going on in Divinity 3 whenever the hell it comes out. So go check this out. If you had any interest before in a very in-depth RPG, but one that allows you to be as creative as you want to be, this is the game for you. I definitely want to, and I definitely intend to. But I don't know. Maybe if I win the lotto, I don't know how it's going to work out. I got to figure out or break this this coma thing I got going where I don't play in the daytime. We got to figure this out because I want to play Divinity 2, so I'm ready for Divinity 3, and I got a lot of other stuff to do. But I want everybody to go check this out and give it a chance.
Yeah, that's a game that's been on my radar, and I think maybe we even had the original, not the re-updated, re-jazzered one.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had that on PlayStation Plus, and I think it was in my queue for a second, and then it fell off with everything else. But, I mean, knowing how great Baldur's Gate 3 is, and people were saying some of the writing in Divinity was better than even in Baldur's Gate, so I've always wanted to play that one. Maybe I'll get a jump on that too sometime when I have time for a big RPG and amongst all these other things. But I'm going to go the complete opposite of the spectrum for my release this week. I'm going to tell you about Terminator 2D No Fate, which dropped a little while ago on the 12th, developed by Bitmap Bureau, published by Reef Entertainment for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. This is a beautiful pixel art rendition of Terminator 2, and you get to play in the future as John Connor, in the past as John Connor. You get to play as Sarah Connor, doing the Cyberdyne stuff. I think you do get to play as the T-800 a little bit, and this is just, man, if you love Terminator 2, you need to be checking out this game. I think Bitmap Bureau has said in all the interviews I've seen before this and in the reviews here, they're saying we set out to make the Terminator 2 video game that we wanted to play as kids back when the actual film came out. Because if anybody doesn't know, all the Terminator games that came out were licensed movie garbage from back in the day, T2 especially, notoriously terrible. But this one, go watch a trailer, go watch a review of it. It looks great. Pixel art looks awesome. This is kind of a run and gun shooter. Not quite over the top Contra style or Metal Slug style, but if you think of that style, but a little more tough and not so over the top, that's what this is going to look like. I mean, you got scenes like with John Connor on his dirt bike and the T-800 comes and saves him and you're shooting back at the truck. Not like the old days, but like a nice, good new days. It just looks awesome. Side-scrolling, shooting kind of action. I've heard it's not very long. I mean, it's an arcade-style game. There's a bunch of difficulty modes, which do make enemies harder and more plentiful, but it also ups their AI, like ups the like traps that are out in the world too. I think, what was it, Retro Gamer, when they were first covering it, had a lot of details about that. So it's not just enemies are more spongy and you do less damage. It kind of changes how the world works a little bit. But if you want some side-scrolling, old school, shoot 'em up action, check out Terminator 2D No Fate. It looks like if you've played, which I recommended and was on my Game of the Year list a few years ago, Hunt Down, this looks like that. Big and loud and shooting, not over the top, but like crank up that music. Sounds kind of like Genesis type of music. Bang, 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 shooting people, doing stuff. This one looks like a lot of fun. The only thing I will say, because I know people will say it, it's like $30. So it's a little expensive for a side-scrolling shooter. But if you love Terminator 2, if you love old school games like this, definitely check it out. It looks great. It looks like it sounds great. It looks like it plays pretty well too. I will say, there is, after you've beaten it once, there are a couple spots where you can go and make alternate decisions in the T2 world to get alternate scenes and alternate timelines. I don't know that it's very in-depth, like, there's not a branching path of like 40 different choices. I think there's like 2, but it gives you a little bit more replayability on top of, challenge runs and difficulty runs. But check it out. Terminator 2D, No Fate, one of my favorite movies. So having a nice video game playable, a decent video game of it, looks like a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to pick this up at some point because I love an old school run and gun. If you love those two, Terminator 2D, No Fate, go check it out.
And there you have it. If you want those, check them out for sure. But if you've got no money, but you still want some games, we got you covered, because this week, Epic has released yet again another Christmas gift for you, and that is Jotun Slayer Hordes of Hell. And at first, I thought this was like a Diablo-esque game because it's gorgeous. It's utterly gorgeous, fantastic looking. It is the over-the-top, just like Diablo, looking down, and there are hordes of demons and other creatures, etc. And you're playing in, of course, Alfheim and Elheim and Helhu and Hula. All those places that get covered there. You know what I'm talking about. But it's not a Diablo-like game. It is more of a arena roguelike survival game. So you will be in these huge arenas, and these hordes of monsters will come and attack you, and you have to survive using all sorts of cool classes and subclasses, just like you would in Diablo. But if you die, boom, you go out and you have to start over. And then, of course, you get, all the usual roguelike things where you're getting abilities as you progress. The gods give you extra potential powers and whatnot, and your class gets more powerful. And then you get further into your little arena experiences. Now you're all of a sudden at a boss. You get the boss down, another god goes, hey, you were really good. How about this permanent ability? You get that. You get to the next one. Oh, you're dead. You go back, but now you still have that permanent ability. You guys all understand how these roguelike games play. Okay? I don't have to tell you, but it's there for you. It's free. Go check it out. It actually does look, honest to God, gorgeous. Hence why I thought it was some kind of Diablo knockoff by like a Korean studio or something. But it's free on Epic. Go give it a look if you like roguelike games. Okay?
And man, if you love games and you love games being free and you're excited about the best game you've ever played, go on over to the Game Pass, because they knew after the big drop that I talked about all last week, there's like, man, we got to slow this down and we got to give them just the cream of the crop, Duke of New York, #1 game. We're only dropping one game this week, but we only need one when it's Bratz Rhythm and Style. Go on in and live in the Bratz world, customize your beautiful fashions, sing along. I literally saw this on the game page. Sing along to songs from the Bratz world. Like, I don't know, some kind of Bratz song. They had the title there, and I've immediately forgotten it, because then I looked at the screenshots of these hideous Bratz characters, and I went, oh, why is this a thing? Why is Bratz a thing? It's ugly, and it looks horrible, but it's there for you. Best game of 2025, guaranteed. I don't care when it came out, because you're going to play it in 2025 here at the end of the year. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. Ring in the new year with Bratz Rhythm and Style. It's free on Game Pass. You want to go get it. Go get it.
Can't wait to do that. And of course, last but not least, you've got Amazon free games. Gunslug 2 is available to you. And this is actually a really nice one. It's an old retro 2D side-scrolling Contra-like game. You're blowing stuff up. You're having a great time. Very simplistic. Shoot, jump. That's basically all you've got at your disposal. And it's got the fun retro graphics to pull you into the days of yore of Nintendo and playing on the old consoles. So if you want a taste of that, go check out this one and grab it up for free. You also get Ashworld. I don't know what this one is, but hey, it's there for you. And you got Forgotten Realms, The Archives Collection 3. You remember last week I told you got like 1 and 2? Now you got the third one. It's an old ancient game. Expect that. Understand what it is. Go check it out. And then, of course, last but not least, you've got Bo, Path of the Teal Lotus. And this is like an action-adventure game with beautifully done hand-drawn graphics. It's colorful as all hell. It's Japanese-inspired. And it looks like it's not Metroidvania for sure, but it looks more of a platformer. I was a little bit confused and didn't get to go super in-depth on it, but it does look absolutely phenomenal. So go check this one out. Definitely do your homework on this one, because this one might be an actually get on your list and play one. Just saying.
And I'm just saying that over the past week, it did actually happen. We had the Game Awards. First off, okay, no, I'm going to save that for later when we talk about the actual game. No, I've changed it up. First off, the notes are here. The picks are here. The winners are highlighted. The tally is true.
Oh, God.
It's not a tally I made, so you can trust this one. Matt, got 13 picks right. Eric got 11 picks. And then out of the Hope picks, Matt got 5 right and Eric got 2 for a total of 18 versus 13. So I'm happy to announce that yet again, and legitimately, because the stats are here, this isn't one of those ones where, the stat person forgot to give me bonus points. So it's like legitimately just with all the bonus points and everything included, I won again. So it's a good time to be Matt. It's a good time for the Game Awards. And we got more stuff to talk about with the Game Awards, but I couldn't not start with that because that's the best news. That's the best thing to come out of the Game Awards is another victory for me.
Yeah, man, he's a winner, all right. He's a winner chicken dinner. And you know what? I'm thinking next year, we're not voting on all the esports. We're not.
Sure we are.
We're just going to skip it. Because without it, I win.
I don't think
it's
any of us got any of that.
It's because of all the esports crap that I lose.
There's no way.
It is.
I literally
I'm
have it
you.
here. Let me see. I don't think any of us got any of that stuff. I think I got one.
Did we both fail all the esports ones?
I got one, and that's it. Yeah, out of the 3.
Yeah, so that's
I got 1 point
that I wouldn't have lost. Okay,
but I beat you by 5, brother. So you would have lost
down
no
to
matter
4,
what.
So that's down to 4. All right, we're getting there. We're moving. I just got to figure out what else to cancel. This is cancel culture. This is what we do. We cancel everything till I'm the winner.
No, that's come on.
That's what I've been taught.
Who would cheat and win? Who winners never prosper? Cheaters never prosper because winners do prosper.
And nobody would ever cheat to win.
No,
right?
nobody cheats during the Game Awards. I'm just the king of Game Awards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird. This Game
I
Awards.
I would never lie about it. While there are literal stats that I can show that I won, that would never happen.
That's true. It's true. This Game Awards was a weird one. I had a great time. Had fun overall. Like just a encompassing picture. Had a great night watching all sorts of cool stuff, but I also got tired. I got sleepy. I kind of was like, all right. I wasn't upset or disappointed, but there was enough crap, enough like just stuff that I didn't even care about or just think about or in any way, shape, or form that even with some of the highlights, which at the time I said, well, there wasn't much for me, but I still had fun for whatever reason. I went back, and started looking at the next day going, well, what actually did happen? Because it's all like just blur, another trailer, and I'm like, oh, that was cool. 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 I went, there's actually quite a bit here I'm interested in, invested in. But at the moment, it was like, I felt like it was like 2 things the whole night where I went, oh, shit. And other than that, I was just watching things. And then some of it, I was just like staring blindly at. I didn't even know what I was watching. I was just staring at it, going, I don't know. Okay. Game. Here we go. So it was a really weird one for me. Just really out of sorts. But I felt good about it at the end. And I guess that's what's important.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you on that. Like, I think it had kind of waves. Like, it started off, they showed kind of smaller stuff on the pre-show. Then when it got to the main show, it started showing like bigger games, but I wasn't as into them. There were obviously 2 very big highlights for me, which we'll get into when we talk more about it. But I like you said, I kind of just got tired, especially by the end. And I think I literally texted you at one point because, so behind the scenes, Mom's the scorekeeper. She texted me once and said, there's only 2 awards left, Game Direction and Game of the Year. And it was 45 minutes before they did either one of those awards of Jeff Keighley going, oh, hey guys, wow, check out a trailer for a game. And again, and again, and again, and again. And it was kind of that end of the show where stuff was getting less interesting to me, especially because those were hey, sometime in 2027, we showed you a CG trailer of something we might be working on with no gameplay, and it's coming out sometime. And I couldn't get excited. And I literally texted Eric. I said, end the show. I'm ready to go to bed. And it was still a great show overall. Like, I'm not down on it, but it was that balance again that I've talked about before of like, I just want to watch the awards and then I want to watch the trailers. I want this separate because I want to see the Game of the Year and I want to see Game Direction, but I don't want 45 minutes between those 2 and whatever was right before it. And I know he talks about that every year, but we try to have a balance, and having the trailers makes more people see the awards, but it's just, it felt like too much, but I'm not mad about it. I feel weird. Like, it was a good show. And like you said, there was a lot of good games in there. I wrote down a bunch of stuff and went back and watched some trailers and I went, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But it felt too long and not melded in enough, I guess, for me. I don't know. I say that every year though, so I don't know.
One tiny, whine is, I guess maybe it's just me, an old man. Maybe it's just knowing that my days are numbered. But I just don't care about 2027. I don't even know if I'm going to live that long. That's 2 more years. I don't know if I got 2 more years. I just want to know what's coming out this year, coming out in 2026, because that's where we are. We're at 2026. I just want to know that, because we all know the reality of it all. Half the stuff you announce in 2026, at least, is going to get pushed to 2027. Pretty much everything you announce that's 2027 is going to be 2028 or thereafter. We're not dumb. Nobody's dumb. We've seen it a million times. So when you show me this trailer, like, get excited for this game in 2027. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in 3, 4, 5 years. My kid will be in college. I might be alive. I don't know. I don't care how hyped I am for that game. I still don't care. I don't care. I don't know what's going to happen in that many damn years. Stop doing that stuff. Just give me what's up for the next year.
And I definitely agree with you on that. I think there was something, I can't remember what it was I was looking up. It was either some video game that had come out and did well or is coming out in the future. But I was reading up on the game and they went, yeah, announced 4 years ago at the Game Awards. It's this game that you were reading about. And I don't even remember what it was. But I went, that's 4 years ago. So anything you're announcing, just like you just said, for 2027 is probably, 2028. Early 2029. Sorry, guys. We're working real hard on it to make it real good, though.
Hey, Matt, you know a game I'm excited about? What's that Replacer game?
Remember that? Shut up, Eric. No. That actually did get a date announcement a couple weeks ago. And I literally posted up on Blue Sky. I was like, please actually come out and actually be good. Where's the last night? Where's that one? Where's the one that one was before that one?
That was even before it, yeah. That kind of stuff, I feel like it has to stop. You gotta, we gotta put a limit on that. I know I'm in the wrong here because I went and watched a whole bunch of comments and commentators on the Game Awards, and the younger folks love it. They're eating it up. They literally love it. They're like, I don't care, man. I love knowing what's ahead. And I understand that you're young. You can pretty much guarantee you've got 15, 25, 35 years left of life. So you're like, I don't care. Yeah, sure. What's 4 more years to me? But for me and for Matt, it's starting to get like, nah, bro, I don't know. I just need to know what's out this year.
Well, plus I think it used to be like, it would be a vague trailer. And then like maybe you'd get like a little bit with the devs on it saying, hey, we're working on the next Lara Croft, guys. It's going to be great.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Or Jeff Keighley would say, hey, over there in Switzer, Poland, they're really working hard and they're excited to show more eventually. And then you go, okay, so it's sometime. But putting a date on it that's a whole year removed, I texted you at least twice. Okay, I'm immediately going to forget about that. Because even if I am super positive and we're going to see all these games and they are coming out in 2027, that's 2 years from now. I can't think about it. I can't hold on to that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that are coming in 2 years. I can't do that. Come on.
Yeah. Those days are over. The last game I was able to do that for was Diablo 3. And ever since then, I just can't care. I can't care if it ain't coming this year. So, mind you, that was a long-ass time ago. I was like 15 years younger than I was now. So, I think there does come a time where your age and your just view of the world and how things are going does shift. Maybe I'm wrong. But anywho's, that was just a mild whine of mine. Because it happened like 4 or 5 games this time around. And I'm like, oh, when's that coming? That looks neat. 2027. When's that coming? 2027. I'm like, okay. All right.
And on top of that dovetails perfectly with the other thing I wanted to mention before we talk about reveals or things we're excited about. Because I think it was literally like the day of the Game Awards, or maybe like the day before, Kotaku had an article that was corroborated by, I think, game developer, GameSpot. It went around to everybody. Everybody reached out to their sources. All their sources said, yeah, this is 100% true. But Kotaku reported, hey, did you know that getting a 60-second trailer onto the Game Awards can cost up to $450,000. And the price scales up and up and up the longer and bigger the trailer is, up to about $1 million for a 3-minute trailer. So some of these companies, for a game that's not, you can't even see gameplay of, that's not coming out until question marks McGee, are spending $500,000 to $1 million to get that stuff on the Game Awards. And gosh, gee golly, look at that moneymaker right there. Go figure that he has 45 minutes of trailers in between a bunch of awards. I just thought it was, I don't know, that knowledge as I was watching it kind of made me feel weird. And Eric and I talked about this a little bit before the show. Like, I'd watch a trailer, it wouldn't be that great for me, just for me. And I'd say, they spent $500,000 on that to air that on the Game Awards. And then I'd watch 10 more trailers and I'd say, Jeff Keighley just got $5 million right there. And it's no wonder that he pumps this up as like the biggest thing of the year, because look at all the monies, all the dump trucks of monies that he gets to drive away with. It's crazy. And I mean, I don't want to knock it because he's made it that big so he can do whatever he wants. It's like when we talk about a big streamer, like he's done it, so he gets to reap the rewards. But it also made me think of like, man, I'm never going to see anything small on the Game Awards. I'm never going to see a cool indie game because it's going to need a publisher with the deepest pockets, with the most faith in this game to throw it out there. And then, gosh, if that game doesn't recoup just the trailer money on top of whatever dev costs, like how does that work out? Is that all publisher eats all that cost? Or do they take the hits from, it just made me going down a weird spiral and I didn't like it, but them's the facts. That's what they said. It's an interesting lens to view the Game Awards through, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. And you also have to understand there's a ton of cost in the production itself. So it's not like Keeley's walking away with a bajillion dollars himself. But you are correct. This is a payday. And what makes me just feel weird, and what we talked about a little bit, was he's getting people to give him material to make his show good, to pay him to make his show good. So people are paying him to make his show good. Because if his show wasn't good, nobody'd watch it in the first place. But now they're paying him to make it good. It's such a weird backwards relationship. So I start to wonder then, well, okay, it's obviously factual. It's been fact checked and collaborated. But on the other end of that are some of these biggest ones he has to pay for. So like Kojima's like, hey, brother, you got $1 million in your pocket, and I'll give you this little tidbit with whatever the one is with whatever that famous actor was last year. Remember that whole shindig? Maybe some of them he's got a pocket to get, and then he makes the others pay money to have on the show. Like once again, that 45 minutes of us just going, they're paying. But then that one shell that goes boom, he had to pay to get them to come on to give him that chef's kiss. Look at us. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm talking out of my ass, but there's got to be some kind of back and forth because it doesn't add up in my brain. If everybody at that show is paying Jeff Keighley tons and tons of money to have the show, because Jeff Keighley can't have a good show if they don't show up. So I feel like the give and take there is weird. I don't know.
And I feel like the perceived narrative, at least on my end, not these last few, but like when it first started and through a recent amount of time, the perceived narrative was definitely, hey guys, I made this special for you. Like I went out and got it. But now to see this, like you didn't go get nothing. You took one shovel out of your dump truck, if you had to at all, and then you went, all right, here you go. Here you go. I don't know. It feels so weird. I've talked about it. I'm going to try and forget it so I don't remember this for next year, because it's just going to make me feel weird watching some of these trailers that either it's too far out in the future or it's a trailer that I think is a bad one. And I'm just going to think, he just got $500,000 to just put some crap out there. What the flapdoodle? Wow, this sucks. Blah.
And then you start to get mad. Yeah, and you start to go, how about we don't have a 4-hour show?
Yeah.
How about instead of you trying to get, 17 million in your pocket, we get this down to 2 hours, and maybe you just take 5-6 million in your pocket, because I don't want to see all these dumb games, in my opinion, dumb games that just blah. are the same generic BS that copycatted off some other famous game. Hippie Skippy, here we go.
And then this will be the last part.
Oh,
for
we're
me.
just all negative Nancy's here.
It's negative.
I
It's
hate
going.
the Game Awards. I'm angry.
I don't hate the Game Awards, and I'm not mad about it. But knowing about this, it makes me think, hey, man, what about Summer Game Fest? That's got to be the same thing, right? But then followed by Summer Games Fest is Day of the Devs. Do they have to get paid to show the things? What about like small stuff? Cozy Game Fest. Are they raking in money hand over fist to just sit there to announce trailers? Like, did somebody have to pay them to air that trailer? Or is these small ones, these small indie ones, like, is that legit? Is it not legit? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. Is everything capitalism? Is everything investment funds or whatever it is? Whatever the thing
don't
is.
start me on that one, man. I don't want to start hearing you say that. I hate capitalism. Yeah. Oh God, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, you know what I mean though, because a lot of like the really indie shows that I love, it's like two internet personalities, and I'm like, but is this also that? Are you making 20,000 with each trailer? Because I don't want to feel that vibe in my head. And like I said, I'm going to try and ignore this right now and forget about it now. I'm going to close the window so I don't have to look at it. There, I already forgot about it. I'm so dumb. I forgot about everything I was just saying. Woohoo! What else are we going to talk about, Eric?
Well, we're going to talk about some games we liked and were very much interested in at the Game Awards show. Once again, overall, really liked it. Had a good time. Had a good night. And one game that I was already interested in because we've seen trailers for this already, but they did it again. Pragmata got a release date, a demo, and of course announced it was coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, which that part I don't really care about, but I'm glad for the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm just excited for Pragmata. This game looks awesome. It looks unique and a little bit different. And I love the little dynamic between the little AI girl and, of course, the dude. It all looked, sounded, and felt really good in the gameplay that they showed. And then, of course, afterwards, I got to go watch streamers who are super cool and in the know. They got to play a cool demo trailer that we'll eventually get to play at some point. But they got to do it right then. So I got to watch them play through over and over the same demo. And it was really good and engaging. And I love the mechanics of you having to figure out how to unlock the weak points on the baddies, and then of course just the playing and the relationship between the two, and how she acts like a young girl sometimes, where she's not interested in the robots, and you're over here going, "I need you to focus," as an old man, and you're trying to get this girl AI to just help you, and sometimes she does, sometimes she's like, "I don't care, I'm looking at the sparkly little thing over here," and it's funny and it's realistic because that's what a child would do. So I really like that dynamic, and I really was excited to see more on this game, and I can't wait to play the demo and then play the game proper soon. So yes, Pragmata, that delivered for me. Really felt good.
One that delivered for me, I'll go with a bigger one, kind of because you did too. They had the actor for, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Saros, the latest Housemarque game that's been in development, kind of looking like Returnal. But, they had him there. He talked about some stuff. He showed off a new trailer. And what I texted Eric, what I wrote down here on my notes was characters, because we got lots of scenes of the main character arguing with other people in a room about what they need to do, how they need to go about things. And I went, okay, this could be a flashback to stuff that happened before he got stranded on this weird world, but I don't think it is. I think you're actually going to have side characters in this game, and maybe you're like rescuing them as you go through the planet or whatever it is, and having some people at your home base and having actual story sequences in this game, because I loved Returnal. I played a bunch of it. I didn't play as much as I should have, but there was nobody else for her to talk to. There were like kind of flashback sequences about her past, but you didn't interact with characters in that game. And I thought having more people, having more, maybe it's just a comm buddy on the radio who will fill you in on something when you go to a new level of the planet or whatever. But I thought that would add a lot to the game. And it seemed like that's the route they were going. Like a more fleshed out game, not just run and shoot and go back and, live again, but maybe interact with these people. Maybe have an overarching big story with complications for those people and, interactions with them. I kind of just kicked it up a notch in my brain. I was already interested because I love Returnal and I want to play more of that kind of a game, but to have like a story and characters and scenes like that, it really bumped it up for me. So I was glad for that. I'm glad they paid. No, don't say that. I'm glad they had a trailer there at the Game Awards and showed me some more stuff about it.
Yeah, Saros is one I want to play. But of course, I didn't play Returnal, so it's one of those like, well, you didn't play their first title, or you're really going to play the second one. But it looks damn engaging and neat and just unique and weird too. We'll see. We'll see on that one. But it was definitely a really cool trailer. And another cool trailer, Matt. I know we joked, of course, we were texting about this one and joking about this one, but I'm actually very excited for Star Wars Galactic Racer. Got announced from the former Burnout and Need for Speed developers. And it went straight back to an old game. Me and Matt played with an old buddy of ours. And it was just a unique day. Unique time. It was just, this is my jam. Come on and play with me. And he really wanted to show his stuff in this game. And it was just weird. And then this came out, this trailer, and I went, that joke immediately came back in my head, and I started laughing, and of course texting Matt. But then I'm watching it more, and I'm like, this looks damn good. This looks like a fun F-Zero-ish type freaking racing game, and that's exactly what I want. We keep talking about playing the Uniracers and the this and that, and I'm like, this fits the bill. This is it, and it looks gorgeous, and it's in the Star Wars universe, and that's always fun. So I was impressed, and I can't wait to keep an eye on this one and hopefully play it when it comes out.
That one does look cool, just for that old school racing type of a feel. Now I'll give you a 2-pack, because I don't have a ton to say about either one, but these are 2 co-op games. One is Orbitals. Now, watching the gameplay of it, I wasn't super thrilled by it, but that old school retro anime character design, all the retro anime style of everything, you can't be somebody like me who's watched anime like from the jump and not be excited about that art style, that character style. I love that stuff. I love it so much. So that one got on the list. And then later in the show was Out of Words, which we've seen trailers for forever, for years probably at this point. But that's the stop motion co-op game where you 2 characters can't talk, but everybody else can. And it just looks so good. Another beautiful visual style of game. We've known about this one forever, but like seeing it again, kind of with fresh eyes, because I haven't seen it for a while. That one's on the list for sure.
And for me, the next one that had me going for a little bit, I don't know yet, but I love the trailer anyway. It was Diablo 4's expansion, The Lord of Hatred, was revealed, and you get not one but 2 different classes, but they only showcase the Paladin. But everybody loves the Paladin, and the trailer, of course, was dressed to impress and did just that. It showed you all sorts of really cool Blizzard, cinematics, which they are known for, and it was great. And it hit all the bills. It made me feel like, man, I got to get back in Diablo. I haven't played Diablo for years. I never did the previous expansion, I don't think. So I'm way behind, and I went, this would be the perfect opportunity to play the last one and this one and get some good Diablo 4 time in. So I was impressed with seeing it, and I was also excited to, this one's all about just taking care of Mephisto. Beforehand, he was kind of a side character, and then just another time he was also just a side boss. But now they're really focusing in on him, and I'm all there for it. I want to see what he's really got when he gives his full potential as being one of the big beasties and baddies. So hopefully this delivers, and it gets my interest, and I stay involved.
I'm going to give you another 2-pack, because I don't have a lot to say about either game again. But one that came up, I think this one was on the pre-show, was Tank Rat, where you're like building a tank from these weird scraps and things, and then you're driving around blowing up other tanks. And I don't know, it didn't look like there was a lot to it, but it put me in the mind of playing on my Dreamcast, first ever game I've played online, playing Alien Front Online, as 3 different tanks, light, medium, and heavy, alien side, human side, blowing people up, just having a tank time. Before World of Tanks even existed, Alien Front Online did it great. This totally put me in mind of that. Just cruising around as a tank, blowing the crap out of enemy tanks. Looked great. And then another game that I did go watch the trailer for because I didn't write anything down on it. I went, what is Ontos? Ontos? O-N-T-O-S? That's the game from the creators of Soma. It looks like a weird, twisted, dark, creepy, like Bioshock-ish sort of a feel, sort of a world. And it sounds like, from the trailer, it's all around somebody who got the ability to give everybody what they want, grant everybody's wishes, and now it's turned really freaking bad and awful. Like you see somebody like pulling their face apart, like ripping their skin out. People are tormented, people are crying, and things are strange and weird and dark and creepy. I've heard nothing but good things about Soma, but I've told Eric this. I know the twist in that, so I can't play it, because why play it when you know the twist of that? But I know that's dark and that's twisted, I'm excited to see more of that here. I'm not a spooks guy, but it just looks strange and unique.
Yeah,
I'm
he can't
interested
play
in this.
Alan Wake 2, folks. He can't play Alan Wake 2. He ain't doing
It's
this.
too spooky.
Yeah, too spooky. It's too spooky. But it looks good. I agree. It did look awesome. I'm into it, but I did play Soma, what is it, Soma?
Soma, yeah.
And I never finished it. I don't know if that was because I just, at the time, wasn't for me, or if I got frustrated. It's been a long time, but I do remember it. So, maybe I'll give that one a shot as well. One I for sure will give a shot, Matt. I was so happy to see, but it's also one of the ones that I'm mad about, that I've whined and cried about. That's Mega Man Dual Override, baby. Coming in 2027, apparently. And it's just Mega Man, but it's colorful and it's beautiful. But you are doing old school side-scrolling action, and you're hopping around, and you're doing the Mega Buster, and you're doing what Mega Man does. None of this 3D no weird things happening. Just going across the screen, going up against Wily's enemies, and having a good old time. I'm here for it. It looked amazing. I was really hoping they were going to showcase some bosses, but they didn't really go into any of that. Just kind of showed you the level designs for a couple seconds and then gave a back shot of some cool sprawl where the city's, either blown up or fireworks were going off. I'm not really sure what it was trying to show you, but I was totally in it and can't wait to play in a couple years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever.
Another 2-pack from me before my last big one. This is my last 2 before my big one. We saw a trailer for a game. I need to go back and watch this again. I should have watched it before the show. Game called Exodus. Sci-fi, RPG. I don't remember anything other than texting Eric. This looks like, since BioWare will never make another Mass Effect again, let's make Mass Effect. And it looked really cool. It looked like a lot of fun. I started off kind of chuckling at it, but then I kind of got into that vibe of like, all right, it's time for a sci-fi RPG kind of space epic. I want this. I was dogging on it and joking on it before, but this looks good to me. And then we got a CG trailer for a game called Gang of Dragon, made by one of the actual creators of the Yakuza series, saying he's going to make it more brutal and dark and realistic and not so over the top. But you're playing as a man who looks literally like a refrigerator. He gets stabbed. He's going around beating people up. If it's anything at all like the Yakuza games, I'm going to love it. I mean, you see the Kamurocho gate. I mean, I know that's not what it really is in real life, but you saw the gate behind him. He looks just like a guy who would step out of a Yakuza game. It's from one of the Yakuza creators. How can you not at least give it a shot when I love the series like I do? So there's 2 more for me.
And I'll give you 2 real quick, too. Here, I got No Law, Matt. I don't know if you remember this from the developers of The Ascent. And it's basically a cyberpunk type game. You're in like the not near future, but near-ish future. And everything's weird and everything's cool and cybernet, this and that. And a dude's like, I just tried to retire. I'm out of this crap. I don't want this world anymore. But it keeps dragging me in. And he's getting his ass beat. And everything goes down. And he's like, and you know what happens when you try to pull me back in? I come back in and I murder every goddamn one of you. And I went, yeah, that's what you do. That's it. I mean, I'm on board. It's a simple, stupid story, but I love that type of story. I love it when the main dude's like, I just tried to be peaceful and you won't let me.
This is another play as a refrigerator man game.
Yes.
I remember him being big and square.
Big dude.
I'm like 7 feet tall and 7 feet wide.
It is exactly that, but it makes you feel powerful. And I love that feeling when I know I can take 7 dudes because I'm a freaking tank. I look like the dude off of Game of Thrones that everybody talks about. Oh, so yes, very excited for that. We'll see whenever the hell it comes out, probably 500 years from now. But the other one is one that did what I hate, Matt, what I hate, but I'm still excited for it. And that, of course, is the new Star Wars game. It's Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. And I'm super excited for this, but it showed you absolutely nothing. It's just a game in the mists of time. But I went, man, I would love a really good Star Wars game. I would love it. Maybe this will be the one that isn't canceled, but we'll see because it's so vague and has nothing to do with anything in the near future at all. Time will tell. But I did enjoy seeing it and went, yes, possibilities.
The only other thing that made me sad about that was Jeff Keighley did say, hey, it's by one of the creators of Knights of the Old Republic. And my eyes shot up, but this was already after he said, oh, it's an action game. So my eyebrows shot down and then they shot back up. So I was kind of neutral on it. And like you said, who knows? I was even on Blue Sky looking at things people were hyped from the Game Awards. And literally, I think it was Game Informer said, we hope this actually comes out. And I went, yeah, that's every video game these days, but you didn't have to write that out. Like, I thought that to myself. You could be like, yeah, we're excited for it to come out. But even they were like, yeah, we'll see. Who knows?
We'll see. 8 out of 10 have been canceled. So, the track record's not great.
But you just set it up right there. You said the word 8. Because my next big one, other than the other one, which I know you're going to talk about, so I won't talk about it.
Of course.
I mean, I'll talk about it when you
We're
talk
going to talk about it.
it.
We'll do it dually, yeah.
Yeah. The one that was a total surprise to me, and I think at the start of the trailer, I must have been looking down, either taking notes or texting Eric something. Ace Combat 8, Wings of Thief. I was so delighted to see this. And, you see somebody land on an aircraft carrier, and it's bright, and it's sunshiny, and it just tastes like Ace Combat. And the music hit in, and I was like, that's Ace Combat. And you heard famous voices. And then we saw planes and helmets and people and explosions and story stuff. Oh, it was so delightful. I watched the trailer again today, and that's where I saw, like, at the beginning of the trailer, it says, hey, Project Aces, here's all the hallmarks that will tell you this is Ace Combat. I missed that part when they showed it at the Game Awards, but I got all the other pieces, and they said Ace Combat 8, and you can tell that, like, you're flying with the ace, and he goes down, and now you have to take over his mantle to keep the people risen up and their fists pointed to the skies. God, I love Ace Combat games so much. I don't know why. I don't play any other plane games, not that there really are any. But man, when you put me in front of an Ace Combat game, I'm happy as a little clam, as a little duck, as a little whale. I was so excited that there's another Ace Combat game again. And I'm just excited to be flying planes and shooting people down and doing Immelman turns. Oh my God, I even know the words. I'm going to do an aileron roll. What do you want from me? I was so delighted. That's one of the things. That's one of the 2 games that's written all in caps. It's underlined twice. Yeah, that on top of the other one, which the one you're going to talk about, that made the Game Awards for me. 2 amazing, amazing games. All these other ones are cool, but Ace Combat is just, it's up there. It's got gold stars. It's got everything. Golly.
Well, to keep things hype and fresh, there were 2 tiny ones, which one's not so tiny, but we already briefly talked about it. And that was the new Divinity game. That was a great trailer. That was an intense-ass trailer. And that piqued my interest, which got me all hyped up about playing that Divinity 2, which I already talked about earlier in the show, hence why it's there. So that was a good trailer, good time. Then, of course, Capcom finally confirmed that Leon Kennedy is in Requiem, and it's, of course, not really a shocker. Everybody kind of was like, he's got to be there, da-da-da. It's been confirmed, and not only has it been confirmed, but they came out and went, yes, as what's-her-face, Grace, or whatever her name is, it's going to be a survival horror straight-up game. But with Leon, you're going to be a badass, shooting zombies, chainsawing folks down, action-heavy game. So this will be the first time where you get both worlds very much spread apart and split up and going chunk through the storylines. Usually they try to do like a middle road, where it's a little scary spooks, but you do have guns and you are powerful, but we're trying to put you in a moment where you're vulnerable, so you're still scared. No. This time they're like, no, this chick, she don't know what she's doing, and she's terrified the entire time, and you have to try to just live. With Kennedy, nope, we want you to get bazookas and go nuts, blowing up buildings, killing folks left and right. I can't wait. I've been on the Resident Evil hype train for quite some time now, and this one definitely delivered. Definitely delivered. But of course, with the 2 small ones, man, it leaves the last one of the night. The one we're both very excited about. You want to go ahead and do the honors?
I'm watching the trailer right now. I'm getting the goosebumps. I'm getting the things. I'm remembering at the Game Awards when there was a weird little box on stage and a person in it, and he was floating and levitating, and then it went, you got some red distortions on the screen, and I texted you one single word. I texted you the word hiss, because Control Resonant was shown off. No gameplay, but we had a trailer. I'm looking at it right now. Weird distorted voice with brackets, with strange words, and like this word means 2 different things. So there's the slash there. Jesus Christ. I'm watching it again, getting excited again. I want to just stop right now and just maximize this trailer and just watch it. Crank the headphones up. I'm feeling the chills right now just from the music. Jeez.
I was so pumped when old boy comes on and the old gods went, sisters gone rogue / fishing. You're up. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I freaked out. I freaked out, Matt, because they get a close up of his face. And his face, he looks just like the sheriff in Alan Wake 2. And I'm like, what the hell? Why does he look like him? And of course, there's some kind of relation. There's some sort of relationship. It actually isn't him, but it's him from a different multiverse or a universe or something. And there's some kind of correlation there because the sheriff actually has a tie-in mentally, and he knows something about like the brother and sister over here. And I'm like, oh my God, there's too much. It's all tying in, man. It's all tying in, and that got me stoked. And then I was so pumped up about it all. And then I saw his weapon come out, and he's just like, he has the two blades come out. And I go, okay, he's gonna blade. And then all of a sudden he goes, nope, puts them together, conforms in this gigantic war hammer. I'm like, oh my God, this is even better than the gun. It's even better.
And I'm watching the trailer, and I lied. There are little teeny bits of gameplay in there. And not only that, they do blades. He does do hammer. And then he's got like weird punches and stuff where he's flying up in the air, doing like air juggles and things. Like just all the kinds of superpower stuff that you want out of Control. There's a scene in that trailer where he's like running down this hallway and everything's spinning all around him. It's freaking crazy looking. You and I loved Control base. So I'm glad to see that the next Control is going like off the rails, crazy Inception looking stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, everything's leaked out of the old house,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's into the actual streets, the city streets. And I'm like, well, how far is that going to go? Is that real?
Yeah, is
or
that
is this
real?
like some kind of dreamscape he's actually just in and handling business of a could-be world or something? Because if it actually has spilled out, that's insane to think about. That this New York City has become, man, I need to get back in the game world. There's a word for when a thing happens and it turns into
it's the AWEs,
problem.
right? Like that's
yeah, something like that. But whatever that is, that would be just nuts if an entire city is an event or whatever you want to call it. Oh, can't wait to play this game. Did they give a release date? I don't think they gave any kind of date. Well, 2026 release was all it said.
I want to believe that,
We'll
but
see.
I don't believe that. No way. That's
I don't
not
believe
possible.
none of it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Period. No. Especially with Remedy, they'll take their time. They're not going to just release it. So
Oh yeah.
they for sure will go, hey, we tried, but it's going to be 2027.
Or it'll be like the 31st. Hey, Happy New Year, guys. Get into our
Mhm.
weird world. I don't know a good Sam Lake accent.
All I know is where's the merch.
Oh, yes.
I want the merch. I want the merch already. I don't even care. I'm going to like the game, so you just get it to
You're
me.
going to get his weird slide rule blade thing, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Whatever that is, I'm going to have it. Put it right here on the wall.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
There's a ton of other stuff that we didn't even talk about, a ton of other trailers. So let us know what you liked from the Game Awards, what you were the most hyped about. And if the answer isn't Control, Resident, and 8 Combat 8, then you can shove it. No, I don't really mean that. But another thing that I do want to hear about is your answer to Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner. If you remember, last week's question was, the Russian folk tune Kobre Niki is commonly referred to as the theme of which classic 1984 video game thanks to its use in the later Game Boy port? That is, of course, Tetris. Now, a new question, a question that maybe will make Eric sad, because I feel like we talked about this game before, but I couldn't find a question where we talked about this, so it might have been an alternate reality. Anyway, the question for this week is, in the game series of the same name, what does the acronym of the Fear team stand for?
Oh. I've played these games.
So we did have this conversation before,
Yes,
but
we
I
had
don't
this
know why we
conversation.
did.
I've played all of them. I enjoyed them a lot. What was the acronym? What did it stand for? Federal. No, it was some spooky ghost shit. FBAR. No, I'm not gonna get it.
It is.
Yep. There you go.
I think I've played a demo of the original one. I always wanted to get in the series and I never did. But I watched reviews and gameplay of all of them. Like, I need to play these games. Wait, no. Did we play was it Fear 3 co-op? Did we play like a level of that or something?
One of them you could, because one of them you could play as, two people. Yeah, there's the one dude who was in the original one and then some new guy or something like that.
I can't remember if that was us or if I saw somebody do that. Now it's like conflated with a couple of games we've played a level of in co-op. But
yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember. I know I've played all three, so I know that because I enjoyed the hell out of that series. Wanted to keep going, but that was we had this discussion, I think, when we were talking about games we wish would come back or something like that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And I said Fear because I enjoyed the hell out of it, and it kind of just disappeared into the nether realms.
That makes sense. So if you guys know the answer to that question, if you have more stuff you want to talk about with the Game Awards or the free games, dude, if you want to give me a review, a Game of the Year review of Bratz Rhythm and Style, send that to us via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine at ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit up the Discord. Hit up the Patreon. If I'm streaming, which I probably can't this week because it's a busy weekend, hit up a stream or just hit up my house. Make weird noises outside the door like was going on earlier in the show and just make me like weirded out and think, maybe I should just go see. And then I think, fuck it, who cares? I don't know. I'll just sit here. Why should I go outside? I don't know.
Don't go outside. Never go outside. That's what you always do in the horror movies, and that's when you get stabbed, eaten, grabbed off the porch, electrocuted by cords, whatever the case may be. That's what would happen to you. So just don't do it. Instead, stay at your desk, go www.patreon.com, hit on a clicker button, boop, 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 give us $1, $2, $3, any kind of bucks, and go, gosh golly, I love you guys. You're the bestest. I saved your gosh darn life. And you threw us a couple bucks, which keeps the lights on. So we're equal. We're both equal in this. I feel good. You feel good. Everything's good. Go consider doing that. If you can't, I also say don't go answer the door and instead go over to Apple Podcasts, clickety-clackety-clook, click on us and go, ooh, 5-star ratings, clickety-clack-click-clook, and go to Spotify and you do the same damn thing, clickety-clack-cluck-clook, 5-star ratings, bing, bang, boom, go to the Discord and go, I want to join Third Shift, boop, 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 oh, I'm inside, hey, everybody, I'm Joe Bedoshi, and I got a comment, and I'll go, wow, Joe, you're a great guy, what a comment you made, and then we'll maybe talk about it, maybe don't, we'll see. But either way, I enjoy your presence there. It's going to be a great time. Go do those things. It's like seconds of your time. Trust me, I have hours every day of time. I stare at a wall. You can do something better than stare at a wall and go support us. That would be great. I'd appreciate it.
Another thing that would be great would be listening to the very next episode, which will be dropping out around the 25th of December, a Christmas episode, a nice little holiday treat for you guys. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Maybe holiday plans. Maybe we'll just say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all the other things. But that's going to be the next episode. You can find that on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. As I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, view, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any of those good services, because it does help us out. We really do appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. We appreciate the hell out of it. We appreciate your support in any way you have supported us, because y'all are the best, and without you, we would exist, but it would just be me and Matt in an echo chamber, and, it wouldn't be nearly as fun as it is currently. So thank you all for all your patronage in any way, shape, or form. But I will also state one last time, Christmas is here. What a Christmas gift. What a Christmas gift it would be to get some more 5-star ratings on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And, maybe next week when we come on and we're like, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever the hell you want to call it, we could discuss those couple new 5-star ratings. Go get your granny, go get your cousin, go force some parent, I don't care who it is, go get them. Make them do it. Get them to do it. And we will have a Merry, Merry Christmas or holiday, depending on what you celebrate.
And with that, there's nothing else to say but don't forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.